Hello, everybody. Welcome back to some Vampyr. Picking up where we left off, I do believe we found our own house.
Jonathan, is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Okay, so she's clearly, lost her marbles quite a bit.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject, and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
I am so confused by how much this old lady actually knows. She seems to realize that we're dead, but, I don't know. It's weird.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
Weird.
Goodbye,
Very
Mother.
weird.
Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
Okay, so we actually got... Oh. Okay, how do we eavesdrop? Can we go outside and around, maybe? Yeah, we can.
Your father and I have spoken about your fiancé, Mary. We believe he'll be an honorable husband for you. We'll set a date for the marriage then. That way, I'm sure one of my children will give me grandchildren. I understand your thirst for knowledge, Jonathan, and your father and I are proud of it. But you are not that young anymore, my son. When will I meet your soulmate?
So,
You can ascribe my romantic tendencies to my French origins if you want, Aubrey. But I'll never cease to believe in a match made in heaven, my beloved.
so she's crazy enough to talk to dead
I
people,
really
but
wish you
lucid
could meet
enough.
her, Mother. You would love her.
But lucid enough to understand that the people she's talking to are dead. That is a weird combination. Alright, can I talk to you real quick?
Hello
'Cause I
again.
did get a
Mother.
hint.
Jonathan, back already?
No. Personal. No. Family.
Do you really see Mary and Father? Do you also see me as one of the dead?
Yes. For many years, it was just a game. Since your father left us without a word, I took to the habit of speaking to him.
Yes, I remember. I sometimes spied on you and listened to you talking with Father in the garden. It made me so angry then. But it was just a game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But since then, my poor dead Mary visited me in my room. She led me to her grave, and there you were. I now know the dead can haunt us.
I'm so sorry. You did not deserve to endure this. Mary should never have done this to you.
That's true, my son. But you know what the worst part is? I liked it when Mary spoke in my head. Now she is silent, and it makes me so sad.
Should I leave you alone? Just ask, and I swear you'll never hear from me again.
Oh, no, Johnny. You're always welcome in this house. And one day, when I finally die, we'll all be together again. Just as Mary promised us.
Because she only has 2 hands, so I'm assuming that
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest.
Goodbye, son.
she has like a
Please
butler
come
or
back
something
soon.
looking after her. I think when I turned on my sense, there was somebody downstairs, but I don't remember which way I was facing, so they may have been outside.
Mary? Oh, my dear daughter. How are you tonight?
There we go. I
How
forgot to
is your
leave that.
sweet boy?
I'm assuming that's Mary's room since there's flowers outside of it. Oh, I used a small key. Haha! Where did I get that from exactly? I'm not entirely sure. But we got Aubrey Reed's first letter. My dear and beloved John, when you receive this letter, you will be 35 and I'll be long gone. I feel a little silly writing you this first letter that you won't read for a few years. I struggled for a long time about how best to write you this until I remembered the puzzle and riddles I invented for you when you were a boy. Oh, how you love to solve those enigmas. When I found it would be a good idea to propose to you one final game. It will probably be less rewarding, no candies or exotic treasures for you if you decipher the game this time, but a greater treasure perhaps the truth. This is my only attempt for you to explain why I chose to leave my family without an explanation. If you want to know why, simply play my little game. It's up to you, my son. Rest assured that I love you. I promise my family was and still is everything to me. I remember the first time I held you and your sister in my arms, my treasures, my jewels. To see you grow up, play and laugh filled my heart with joy every time I went back to our home. I could have killed to protect you, my son, my daughter, my wife, but fate found me in the end and I had to make a tough decision. The worst was to disappear without a word. I decided to do it anyway, and soon I'll be gone for good. I don't ask for forgiveness, but for understanding. If you want to know more, all you have to do is remember how happy we were back in those days. If you want to find the next message, think green grass and tall trees on sunny days.
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
Okay. So that was from our dad who left, but apparently left because he knew he was going to die. Now, whether or not he was going to do something that he knew would get him killed, or if he was like sick and knew he was going to die soon. So, I imagine we'll find that out based on the letters. Oh, got another letter. My dear Avery, I was already As I already told you several days ago, I may be forced to leave England, if only for a few months. While I'm away and until my son comes back to London, I want you to take the best care of our house. I already made the entire necessary arrangements to have your wages increased and paid as long as you'll work. You promised me you'd protect my dear wife and serve her to the best of your ability. For that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If I am never to return, you are the only man I fully trust. Believe me, your most affectionate friend, Aubrey Reed. So he left one letter saying that he will come back in a few months, but then he left another letter saying that he wasn't coming back and would in fact be dead, which is interesting. So this is empty display case. So I'm assuming this is going to be that Avery character. We just got the hint for. Hello,
Good
Mr.
evening,
Butler.
Avery.
Mr. Jonathan, I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Do you know my mother speaks to the dead members of this family?
Yes. I sometimes hear her speaking to you, Miss Mary, and her baby. Sometimes your father, too.
So she thinks I'm also dead. And what about you?
I believe she only sees her relatives as the dead she speaks to, Mr. Jonathan. It breaks my heart to see Miss Reed like that.
I am powerless to help her. She thinks I'm a ghost, too. Whatever I say, she just sees me as another dead relative.
But you are still alive, Mr. Jonathan. That's the difference. And I am sure Miss Reed will realize it soon.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir, so my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that suits your mother also.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reed was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
All right.
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
So I wonder, how much... Okay, so he gives me 4,000 blooded. But my mother only gives me 1,000. Wow. So apparently personal connections don't count for a huge amount when it comes to the quality of the blood, then, does it? Considering that, you know, some random person on the street that I just met can give me like 2-3 times as much as my own mother. Like, alright, so I want to go back upstairs and see what she has to say, because we did get her last clue.
Hello
So that
again.
should
Jonathan.
unlock something.
Tell me, Mother, how are you? All alone in this big house with only Avery to take care of you.
I'm sad most of the time. Sad that you have left me here alone. Sad that you don't tell me when you come or go.
I'm so sorry, Mother. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was coming home. I was home. London, the Thames, and then it happened.
What happened, Johnny?
I lost my way. Somewhere between the boat and the house, my life changed completely.
You should have told me, Johnny. I would have understood. You always were a secretive little boy.
Do you think Avery is right? Do you think I should take better care of you?
I don't blame you, but you abandoned me, son. A mother should not survive her children. It's unbearable to know you're not here anymore.
I know I have failed you since I returned. I even watched you bury Mary from a distance. From now on, I will protect you. You have my word.
You don't have to apologize to me, Johnny. Do you think I did not notice how much you have changed?
Have I changed that much, Mother? Am I still your son?
You are still, and you'll always be. Despite your pale skin, your bloody eyes, and that echoing sadness in your voice.
Alright.
Father seems to have left me some documents. Some sort of treasure hunt game. Do you know anything about them?
No, Johnny. But your father always loved to write these little games for you when you were a boy. Don't you remember?
I remember now. He used to post me these riddles, as though they were sent by a mysterious games master. I'd spend weeks trying to decipher them.
Your father was always so proud each time you found the answer. He was not just the serious doer banker everybody thought he was.
I was proud too. How could I forget that?
The important thing is that you remember it now. I'll tell your father the next time I see him. He'll be so happy.
Could Father have conceived some sort of final game for me before he left?
I really can't say, Johnny. Perhaps you should talk with Avery about that. He was your father's confidant, more than I.
Alright.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
Okay.
Jonathan, my dear, bring me my glasses.
I'm gonna assume that it's not actually me she's talking to. So anyway. That map, right? Yeah. Okay, so I want to go that way. Okay, so use under attack.
You Londoners are no match for me!
Oh, fuck. Why are you attacking me at all?
Don't you know better?
Okay, I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to dodge that.
Stupid newborn!
Ah, fuck. Oh god, I'm glad that mine took precedence over his. Damn it. Oh, fuck off. I hate these vampires. They are doing so much fucking damage, and they're so fast, and they take so much damage. They're really, like, fucking... They're worse than the bosses I fought. Like, remember the giant guy in the sewers? He never killed me. I did it in one shot. Oh, to be fair, I guess I did Mary in one shot as well, but she kicked my ass. An ill-formed blinker spell, yeah. So I don't actually even know who this guy is being attacked by, if I'm being honest. Oh, you know what though? If I'm not mistaken, vampires are generally pretty good against like the guns in that, right? I did just upgrade Milton's shotgun, so that might help. Alright, well let's...
You London vampires are so weak!
See, like, where the hell did he come from? Yeah, see, that did a lot of damage, which means that my other two shots must have fucking missed. Oh fuck, that's blood. That's the same fucking ability I use. Finish him off, finally. Okay, so I'm assuming then that this wasn't the guy that was attacked. No, or was it?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reed, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
Goodbye,
right.
Mr. Kimura.
So that's yet another person saved. Now, obviously, we will have to wait until he makes it back, or until we sleep to finish, or to talk to him again. Pure blood, we know the expression. We heard it in the foul mouth of heretics and the foreign barbarians. Used it sometimes ourselves. But do we really know what it means? A vampire born from an immortal belly? What a disgusting idea. How would such a creature find its place among the living? What would be its purpose? Ours is clear, gentlemen. Aslan is here to protect the Empire and all its citizens. We are the protectors and shepherds, even when sometimes sacrifices... That sentence doesn't make sense. Even when sometimes sacrifice the sheep for our sustenance. Whoever will be found guilty of succumbing to the desire of breeding a mortal child shall be eradicated. So the fact that they don't want vampires making babies implies that vampires can make babies, but if vampires are dead, then their blood shouldn't be flowing. And if their blood isn't flowing, then a very important part of making babies doesn't really happen. Alright. So I'm glad that it was that guy that we had to kill and not whatever was on the other side. But now there is supposedly... That's gotta be hunters, right? Something else that we need up here. Maybe it's in here.
Fresh water.
Hey, pure water.
As long as it's not holy water, I may find some use for it.
Yeah, that's what we needed. And you may be wondering, what do you need fresh water for, or pure water for? Well, weirdly enough, we need pure water to water our plant. If you remember the plant that's in our office back at the hospital, it's actually an achievement to water it, but you can't water it. Oh god, there's two areas to the west end as well. There's this gray area up here, and then the area that we're in. And then I'm assuming that the other letter is somewhere in this area over here with all the green. That would make sense since that's I'm assuming a park. But I would like to stay at least somewhat in the safe zone. I mean, obviously we're not currently in a safe zone since we've been attacked recently. I'd like to know where that vampire came from, though. This way? No, I need to... If I want to see... Oh, I guess I could just go through my house, though. Although it looks like I had to fight to get to my house. So it looks like... let's switch my guns. Oh, he's actually not weak, but that's fine. whatever works, right? Okay, so now we should be able... Actually, can we go around the house, or do we actually have to go through it? No, looks like we have to go at least somewhat around, but I might be able to... Nope. Alright, through the house it is. Oh wait, actually, while we're there... I don't know, fill all... no, we don't have anything to make yet.
Yes, Jonathan. Spending next summer in...
Yeah, sure, we can send you to France, why not? Alright, so now we should be, hopefully, in a safe zone. I mean, I see a person over there that's clearly not hostile, so... let's see. I see a gate up ahead, so I am kind of curious if I'm locked out of the garden at the moment. No, I'm not. Alright. Well, I wanted to see if I was locked out, just because since the Ascalon Club is on this side of it, I was like, maybe, but apparently not. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go this way. We got health and blood. We can risk exploring a bit. Looks like there's a little bit of a dead end coming up, although now I need to get on the other side of this fence. Looks like. Don't like that noise. Okay, well, sure, yeah. Well, let's check. It says beware. Music kind of kicked in there. Is this going to be another hideout?
I'm doing this.
Got another one.
This is despicable. It's locked, all right.
Alright, well, the fact that it's locked but I can interact with it and that there's a bunch of rats out here leads me to believe that there's going to be a fight in that house as part of the quest. This way we go. Am I still considered part of the safe zone? Sounds of that, I would say no. But... Oh wow, look at all the blood that's in that. Because I'm assuming that's the place that I couldn't get into. That's a lot of blood in there. Where am I? Here I am. Oh, okay. By that, I'm going to assume we're back in the safe zone. But then again, I think when we walked into the west end, like we fought those things, like just in like the backyard of our house. There, I want to say that that already said west end, which obviously wasn't a very safe location. Let's see. Oh, there's an eavesdrop spot over here somewhere. I see. Oh, just the light on the door. Okay, that leads us, I'm assuming, into the sewers.
It's locked.
Do we wanna? Okay, well we can go in since we're going in from a safe zone. I figure it's fine. We'll see what's down here. Oh, this is part of the docks, so it's considered. Oh, is this? Ooh, what's this? The same tunnel where like that big guy was? Guess not. Okay. I wonder if our father knew anything about vampires, because I mean, Oh, the myth of the horned vampire. What is a tale but forgotten or mythicized history? By essence, vampires are related to the concept of immortality, and they can be perceived as entities that live through centuries, thus becoming mythical figures themselves. But what about the concept of a tale so old it could become a myth among the vampires? I know it may sound vertiginous. I've never heard that word before, but alright. But we know, as scholars, that the impossible is just an unexplained or undocumented event. For a few years now, I've tried to find traces of a figure rarely seen amongst the English immortals, the horned vampire. Hey, that's the guy who made us. Through centuries, less than 10 occurrences of this figure can be found in the various documents gathered by our order. The figure of a man-shaped silhouette, sometimes made of blood, sometimes made of mist or rain, that appears from Wales to Scotland only to immortals. We have no idea what this thing could be. What is this creature with large deer antlers? Is it related in any way to the figure of Cernunnos, the ancestral horn god of the Celts? We don't know it all, but now think about this. Vampires themselves have no idea what this creature could be. Now that's a frightening idea. We may be in presence of something so old that only small hints of its existence can be found through eons. Oh god, this is long. If this is true, we as Brotherhood of St. Paul need to investigate this entity, for it could help us understand the forgotten origin of vampires. As a reminder, I add to this letter a transcription of the only written evidence we possess concerning the horned vampire, the odd poem entitled The Dreams of the Red Queen, supposedly composed by this entity, according to some vampire testimonies. This creature has sometimes been heard singing it while briefly appearing somewhere in Great Britain. I invite all of our brothers to study this text and consider it a testament of forgotten history. 12 dreams for the Red Queen under crown of stone, that she may linger longer with eyes kept closed. 11 thorns blooming from her troubled brow, awaiting the next harvest to be gleaned at brisk springs. 10 copper veins ripped from the belly of the earth, melted into tears flowing towards banished brothers. 9 glorious pyres on the scorched plain to punish those whose hands were slow to obey. 8 voracious beasts born from 8 restless nights, their backs hardened by their race with the sun. 7 notes of warning in the summer sky, compelling child to shielded sheets of sleep. 6 watchers bent on the hunting trails, shadows of their spears traced the tired furrows. 5 houses to fall before song's end, then 5 more reborn from the blackened ashes. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner, restlessly hung to the dark wood of his crimes. 3 books scribbled by pen of the dancer who refuses to answer the call of the abyss. 2 giant rival snakes slither in ageless forests, coiled to the bones of mortals destined for the grave. 1 prayer for the summoned, called by this song, child born from darkness, whose path he must find. See, now that sounds like clues to something. Either clues to, like, things this guy has witnessed himself, things that he's going to attempt to do, clues in regards to accomplishing some goal. You know, like steps to take for something, you know? Like, it definitely seems like it would be important in pretty much any other game. It may somewhat come into play in this game, but not to the degree that it would in others. Like, we're not going to have to figure anything out. Like, if that ever comes into play...
I cannot enter.
Okay, that's interesting. Like, if that poem ever comes into play, one, they'll give it to us outside of that letter. Either, like, he'll be singing it next time, like, when we see him at some point, or something to that effect. But, a lot of dead things here. Oh, this is where we fought the big guy. This is that door that couldn't be open. Ah. Because then we came from up there. Alright. But yeah, so I don't know. In other games, that may be clues to some puzzle or something that we would have to put together and solve ourselves. Man, I kind of wish I knew where the fuck we were going down here. Like, I wish that they had a map of down here. Because, like, is this the direction we came from, and then the bridge collapsed under us, and we had to fight the big guy, or is this the other side that we were heading towards when the bridge collapsed? Because currently, besides that, document there, I feel like this is so far a rather large waste of time. Yeah, you know what, I think I'm just gonna, yeah, because then that's where we had to lower the water and all that, right? So that must mean this is the direction we came from, and then the bridge collapsed underneath us. But yeah, I could definitely see that poem leading to something, you know. And then, you know, obviously depending on the game would determine, you know, if it was something like Uncharted and that would be clues as to where things you needed were to find whatever it is you were looking for. But then if it was a game like with a lot more of a supernatural element to it, it could be like rituals that some group needs to like reenact in order to like control the horned one or something to that effect, you know. But yeah, in this game here, I would guess, because of the way this game is, that if it's important at all, it's just things that this guy has witnessed throughout history, because like he's that old, or it could even be things that he's like influenced to make happen himself, you know. But I highly doubt that any of it'll actually be clues as to like anything we have to accomplish, you know. Alright. Can we go into here?
It's locked, all right.
Oh, there's a person who looks kind of like Lucy Liu in that picture. A little bit less Asian, but you know. Is this the... Oh yeah, this is the Azkaban Club. Back door of it, but still. Alright, well, let's go talk to this chick. Hello, madam. Are you going somewhere? Because there is an eavesdrop with her, I can see that on my map. So if there is, I'd like to get it before I talk to her the first time, because then that'll at least give us a head start on her hints. Oh, well, she's thinking about vampires. At the very least.
Where are you?
Oh, there's actually another hint that isn't involved with talking to her. Somewhere around here. Okay, it says prevent disease and do not cough in public. I can't read it. So according to this, it is this way. Yeah, like right around here. according to this, there should be like a poster or something to pick up. That's why I clicked on this one, because it's a poster in the general vicinity of needed. Alright, well, let's just chat to her.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice.
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones. Their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
Well, I mean, it sounds to me like he should abandon you now,
Do
right?
you feel
So
compelled to
yeah, but-
obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
What is the local news hereabouts, Miss Billow?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow. What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm hungry. Need to eat. Have you got something for me? Blood, perhaps? Can you give me blood, Dr. Reed?
Don't you remember who you are, miss? What you did for work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
Okay. And I don't have the hints.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Okay, so I know that there's a poster that's supposed to be around here, but it could be that it's like I may. Oh, some scribbles and obscure scrawls written in blood on a sheet of paper. Hey, that's a hint for her. But now, if we just chill here until we get her eavesdrop, then we can. You know what? We'll actually just end the part here, and then I'll start the next part when her eavesdrop pops up. That should work. So, thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you on Thursday for more.